strange one, because I've got a fish to show you first. Absolutely beautiful common. Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, he's flying. Pride of Derby again anyway, people. It's 27.9 with a sling. So I've got to work it out yet, but I'll tell you in a bit, people. Just want to try and get this, show you this fish. There we go. 27.9. Beautiful common. Beautiful. Come at night time, about 8 o'clock. I'd already had a liner on it about an hour and a half, no, about 2 hours ago. There we go. That's better. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful people. Like I said, I'd already had a liner about 2 hours ago. Then it just went flying off. Took about 80 yards of line, 100 yards of line. I must have been playing it for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We got it in, but I thought it was a lot bigger than that. It looks bigger, but it's not. And I'm starting to get liners on the other rod, so I'm going to get this fish back and sorted out. Morning people, vlog time. Hope the camera's picking me up. Back on the bank anyway, back on Red House on the Pride of Derby. As you can tell by the video, I've had a fish. I've just had another fish as well. Just had a bream, about £12. The carp what I had last night was £25 common. Beautiful condition, really deep bellied, lovely colours on it. And then I was getting liners through the night again, and then like I said, I've just had a bream about an hour ago. It's about 7:15 in the morning now, 7:30. I've got 2 rods out at the minute. I've not put the other one back in yet. I'm going to wait. I've put a couple more spoms out. And then just see what happens. But what I'm going to do is in a bit, is I'm going to take all 3 rods, take the other 2 rods out, so all 3 rods are out. I'm going to have some breakfast. Nice celebratory bacon and egg cob, which is that much sweeter when you've had a nice winter fish. So buzzing. Hard work's paid off at long last. Felt like I was hitting a brick wall, but I've gone back to using a mix what I normally use in the winter. I'm not going to tell you everything about it, but it's just basic. It's got maggots in it. And it's got ground bait in it, but there's some other few bits and bobs in there. It's got liquid in it, liquid liver, winterized salmon oil, but there's a few other bits and bobs in there, but I can't tell everybody everything, so it just spoil it, wouldn't it, for myself. So I didn't put a lot of bait out. When I found me 8 spots, yeah, sorry about that people, I got cut off. I can't even remember where it was. So basically, like I said, I've had a £25 common and a bream of about £12. I'd left that rod out, the other 2 rods are still on the spot. I've seen fish out there again this morning. It calmed off a bit not long ago, and there's a few that's popped their heads out. And now the wind's come back again, it's blowing in like it was yesterday. The sun's just coming up on the left. You give it another hour and a half and this part of the water is just getting the sun for right up till 2, 3 this afternoon, and that's where I'm fishing out there. I'm fishing in 19-foot water. I've got all I've had on is dumbbell wafters, RG baits, and I'm fishing with the I can't think what it's called now, the Prime. That's my winter bait what I'm on now. I really like it. It's a really good strong smelling bait. It's a meaty bait actually, meaty and spicy, really really good. I can recommend it to anybody. And I just had all 3 dumbbell wafters on that, and like I said, I've got a bit of maggot in my mix, a bit of ground bait, a bit of boilie crumb, and then I've got some liquid liver, some winterized salmon oil, and then there's a few other bits and bobs that I put in there, but I'm not, they're my secret bits and bobs. What I use for winter, same as my ground bait, what I use, and then it's got loads of liquids in, so there's hardly any food out there at all, and then all that's in that is the odd chop. That's it, and I mean the odd chop. And that's why I'm fishing with the little 12mm dumbbell wafters, because they're like the same size as the chops. So I haven't put any maggot rigs on yet. I haven't seen the need to. I'm not putting a lot of maggots in the mix. It's only a handful. Very little bait out there at all. But I put 10 spoms out when I started. I had a liner. Then about an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, I had the common. And then I put another. Got that fish sorted out, photographed everything. Put a couple more. 3 more. No, I put 5 more spoms out. And then left it, and then I've had that bream. Then all I've done then is just chucked a couple more spoms out and left it. Then that's it. I shall leave the rods till this afternoon. I'm going to take all 3 out. I'm just going to sit and tie some fresh rigs, put brand new rigs on all 3 of them, same rig, same setup, just fishing with my normal fluorocarbon rig, what I've shown you before, about 12 inches, 11 inches, with a wide gape on it, with a liner, German rig style, with a swivel on the hook, 2 bits of putty, and I'm also fishing with my usual fluorocarbon leader and my lead core leader, and then I'm fishing with my ESP £15 line, and I'm also back leaded as well, so the line is down, and I'm fishing slack like semi-slack lines. Yeah, and it's worked so far, so I'm well pleased. I spent a couple of hours yesterday walking around the lake easily, really steady walk around, and I've seen signs of fish at the bottom behind the wind, but they just look like small fish to me. I think they were just little bits and bobs, roach, and I think perch chasing the little fry bat or whatever was down there, you know, the smaller fish or whatever. But now I had a good walk round, and there was 2 blokes over here. I was going to go over there, but I thought, well no, because the wind's more this direction all week, I think they'll be in it again, especially with the sun being on it. And I was right. So finally the hard work's paid off. I've got another guy that's moved into the side of me here to the right, and there's 2 blokes over there. There's 1 on the island, so that's all that's on at the minute. But the fish definitely seem to be up this end. They're in the wind. and they're in where I thought they'd be, in about 19 foot of water. So I'm basically fishing like beyond like a gravel, beyond a seam, like a gravel seam, and then after that it's like 19s, but then it drops then. After so long it starts dropping down to 20 foot, and then 22, then 24, then 26. But that bit that I am, it levels out for quite a bit at 19. And then there's like another gravel seam as you come further in. Well, I'm practically like in between that, in 19 foot of water, so I'm satisfied with where I'm fishing. I'm fishing in line with that pylon over there. So I'm here for a few days. Got a load of work to do today, and my pictures last night I'm disappointed with, because I ended up having to take some of it in the wasteland with my mobile. Set my big camera up, and the bloody my Canon camera needs a firmware update, so I've got to go on the computer today and do a firmware update, because my mobile phone won't connect to NFC or Wi-Fi until the firmware's been updated. So of course I come last night to use my mobile phone as my remote control, which I use autofocus and all manual settings on it to get the pictures exactly bang on, and I couldn't use it, so I had to use the self-timer, 10-second self-timer, and I had to use auto settings on it on the camera, which I don't like doing, and the pictures have just come out rubbish. Yeah, so but at least I've got it on film anyway. So right, I'm gonna go because I get some rigs tied, and I've got some work to do, and I've got this firmware to do on the camera. So I shall catch you all later, people. But it's wicked to be back on the bank. It's brilliant, love it. Need this break, needed it again before Christmas. Right, catch you in a bit, people. Adios, amigos. tonight's menu, people. We're having a piece of steak with mushrooms, and then in a minute when that's done, got some nice mashed potato with some nice old tomato sauce, and that's dinner for tonight. So the steak has been sealed for 1 minute either side, and then I'm cooking it for 3 minutes either side after that. Mushrooms went in first with a touch of oil. So yeah, oh, smells lovely. So that's dinner, people. In a bit. Adios amigos. Right, my lovelies. It's now Wednesday Wednesday morning. It's about 10:30 in the morning, no, about 11 o'clock, 11:15 in the morning. I had another fish last night, but not carp. I had another big bream, bigger than the one the night before actually. But as you can see, it's still blowing, the wind's still banging into it, and it's about the same temperature. There's not much change apart from last night. It was a little bit colder last night, but it seems to have warmed up again today. It's overcast. I've had a couple of liners this morning. Now I would have left the rods in till later on, till tea time, but I needed the toilet bad. Now when I went to the toilet yesterday, the portaloos were there. Yeah, it said on the website that they was taking him away. So I went yesterday, used it, no problem. So I took my rods out of the water thinking it was still going to be there, took my rods out, went to the toilet, and they've took them away. So I thought, oh, for fuck's sake. But I think what I'm going to do now the rods are out, I'm going to leave it almost as if I'd gone away, no one was fishing in the peg anymore, and just leave it for a good few hours. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie some fresh rigs, which I'd normally do anyway, get them all sorted out. I'm going to change one of the rigs over and just put some dead maggots on top of one of them, but leave the other two as they was. I'm going to put them back out in the same spots, and fish with a slightly tighter line, because when I was reeling in, the line lays a bit, weren't like bad, but because of the wind. So I'll sort that one out as well. But yeah, it is looking really good again. I mean, the weather's perfect. The blokes that were around the corner, they've moved off. The bloke that was at the side of me, he's moved off. At the minute, I think there's only me, the lad on the island, and I think there's a lad down the bottom end. So it is looking really good. I'm going to put some more spod in, because I don't think there'll be much left out there, if there's any at all. We're having that bream, and then the other bream, and the carp. So I'm going to leave it a couple of hours now, just make sure everything's up to scratch, all my gas stoves topped up and everything, just rest the swim, and then get my rods back out a couple of hours before dark, and then on dark put a bit of bait over the top. Not a lot, probably about 8 spoms, 6 spoms, just a couple of spoms over that area, over each rod type of thing again. See what happens. But I'm really enjoying this session. It's been a brilliant session, really enjoying it. But they definitely fish seem to be in this area and holding up. I mean, the area I'm fishing, like I say, it's in between like a gravel seam and another gravel seam, and then there's like a hard patch of silt, whereas to the side of it and the other side of it, it's really soft silt. So it's definitely a spot that they like. Like I say, it's in about 19 foot of water, but normally, obviously you've got more water on at the minute, a hell of a lot more water. Normally that would be about 16 foot of water, I would have thought, 17 foot of water. So, but you can see it's bang on. So, I've had some breakfast. My leg's alright now, I feel quite good. Only trouble is I've done something to my wrist. I don't know what I've done. It feels like I fucking broke it, look. Don't know if people can see how swelled up it is. Look at it, look. Fucking massive. I can clench my hand that way, but I'm struggling that way. Really struggling. Don't know what it is. I don't know if I fucking bruised it or fractured it or something. Fuck knows, I don't know how I've done it. What I should do is I'm going to fish through till tomorrow and see what's what, and if I don't get any liners or it's dead tonight, then I'll go home tomorrow, because obviously they're not there still. But I've had a couple of liners this morning, so I still think that they're there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get another fish tonight. It looks good for it. I'm confident enough to get another one. But then that's it. If I had to have note by tomorrow, then I should pack up. If I do have one tonight, I might stop another night. I'll just see how it feels. I can't really tell. It all depends what happens. But the trouble is, I'm going to have to go to the hospital, I think, with this, because I don't know what's the matter with it. I don't. I've took ibuprofen and that, but it's not fucking working. So I don't know, I might have fractured it. We'll have to see. But I'm absolutely loving the session. I mean, it's difficult conditions. I mean, bivvy pegs I've had to put back in a couple of times, and it's hard when you're doing it, you know, really hard work, but I'm really enjoying it. It's one of really enjoy it. It's one of the best winter sessions I've had. I'm loving it. I just feel really on it and relaxed. I'm just glad, people, that I've produced another fish for you. So Beavers does it again. Yes, that's the fourth one I've had out of here now. I've had my ticket for I've had a ticket for a year and 4 months, but I didn't fish for 6 months with COVID and my leg with being ill and stuff. So in a year I've had 4 out of the last one, basically, in the sessions what I've done. So I'm quite pleased. I think I could have done a bit better. I think the last few sessions that I've been doing, I think I've been trying too many things. I've tried them things out now, and I've gone back to how I was fishing before, and it's worked, so I shall stick with the way that I'm fishing. You know, because I'm confident in it and it works. And I think that is the name of the game. I think sometimes you can listen too much to other people, and that's something that I don't normally do. If it's good advice, then yeah, but the trouble is, if you've got people in and out your peg and people's talking, you can't help it sometimes. You think, oh, I'll just try this or I'll just try that, and you wander off of what you're doing. You know, whereas now I've got me sent back into where I was, and it is winter, I know that, but I'm going to stick on here anyway, like I say, and get to know the pegs. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, people. Get some rigs tied, have a cup of coffee, and then get these rods back out. So I shall catch you later, people. Adios, amigos. Right, people. Hope the camera's picking me up. Blowing. It's gone absolutely mental out there. I don't know if you can hear it. Nearly took the bivvy out of the ground. Jesus Christ, my overrack come flying off, and then the bivvy was coming up at the side, so I've had to go out, double peg. It's even ripped one of the straps off my tracker overrack. Really big gusts. So I've reeled in anyway, rested the swim, because the line there will just be all over the place. So what I've done is I've slightly altered the rigs over. It's the same rig what I'm using, the fluorocarbon rig, but instead of using the Fox fluorocarbon, the Transcarp in £20, which has a diameter of, oh, I can't remember what it is now, 40 I think, something like that. I've swapped over to the Corda IQ2 because it's a thicker diameter, so it's going to lay better on the bottom. And also I've altered the size of my putty. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. So it's the same rig that I normally use, where I have a liner on, a hook bead, bait swivel, you know, German rig, sat up with a fluorocarbon, about 11 inches, 10-11 inches, and then I have a blob of putty at the bottom and a blob of putty at the top. What I've done is I've thickened up the putty so that it's just holding it better on the bottom. So basically I've made the rig heavier, so it's laying down with this really bad wind better, which will solve the problem straight away. That's not going anywhere once that's done. That way the only thing that's moving about slightly is my bait, which is what I want, so it looks natural. And then I'm watching there, I'm going to fish with a slightly tighter line. So I'm going to hang on an hour, because trying to get line lay at the minute in this, casting out, is just going to be a nightmare. So I'm going to give it an hour, and then I'm going to get the rigs out, same spots. I'm going to put a bit more bait out as well, not a lot, just a bit, about another 5-6 spawns, and then see how we go with that. At least then I know my presentation's right, my rigs are down, my bait's gone down alright again. Whereas if I'd have left them rigs on, I think that, I love that Fox Trans Carpe, but I think it might have been moving about a little bit because of the diameter of it. It's the same breaking straight, just different diameters. So like I say, I've swapped over to the Corda IQ2, which is a good fluorocarbon uplink anyway. I use both of them two all the time here and all. So yeah. So I'm going to sign off, get a few bits done, and I'll catch you in a bit. But I think tonight's going to be my last night, because I'm starting to run low on a few bits and that, and my hand's getting worse. It's fucking swelling up like I don't know what. I don't know what's the matter with it. I don't know if I've fucking broken my wrist or something. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit, people. Adios amigos. Woohoo! Come on! Morning, people. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The wind is still blowing in this direction, and it's fairly warm as well. I mean, last night I was struggling to sleep. It went red hot. I was stood outside the bivvy about 1:45 in the morning till about 2:05. I didn't see anything, but the birds were that active, and it went like flat calm for so long as well, and it just went really warm. It was really strange. It's a bit like how it is now. It's not really clouded over, it's quite clear, yet it feels really warm. Strange. But nothing last night, no liners, nothing, not heard anything, not seen anything. So Monday it was active, Tuesday it was active. I had a liner yesterday, I think yesterday morning, I had a couple of liners. But since then nothing. I'm very, very surprised. I thought I would have had another one. I just felt like I was going to get another one. There's still time yet. I mean, I'll be going home today. I've really enjoyed this session. It's been brilliant. So I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee, have a bit of breakfast, and then sit and watch the water before I start to have a steady pack down. So I'll catch you in a bit, people. Fingers crossed I've got to get another one. Alright, catch you in a bit. Adios, amigos. Right, people, that's it, come to the end. Give it a few hours, it's about 11:30, 11:45, and I've had a really good session, really enjoyed it. Best winter sessions I've had in ages, in years. Really loved it. Just like to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So until next time, tight lines, happy angling. Don't forget, adios amigos.